Do attractive men get pretty privilege from society? Yeah, of course, people are nicer to people they fancy. When I was in college, I had a friend who was truly a handsome man. Not only did he get a considerably high amount of attention from women, he also got away with saying and doing things that no one else could say or do. Being kind of a jerk comes off as charming and self-confident when you're an extremely attractive man. I'm pretty sure there are clear statistical studies on this. Depending what you mean by attractive, of course. But tall men are more likely to be promoted. Fit men are. Men with full hair are. A tall, athletic man with a full head of slightly graying hair, that guy is more likely to be CEO, for example. These things are true and measurable. I read about a hedge fund that chose companies to invest in based on the height of the CEO. If it was a man and he was much shorter than 6 foot, they invested in their company. The presumption being that a shorter CEO got there more because of their own merit. Yes, they do. I was a good-looking dude when I was younger. I had adult women hit on me when I was a teenager. I've gotten free stuff at stores events. Things like never being carded even as a 21-year-old, and it was legal. When I got in trouble with a group, I could always talk my way out of it. I was a slacker in high school, college, but never once was failed by a female teacher, only the male ones. I always had partners for things, was always invited places, always included. People always wanted to be helpful or wanted my opinion even when it didn't make sense for my opinion to be valuable. My best friend had a ginger complexion and was average looking. Every time we were together, things just went easier for me than him. It was never fair. As I entered adulthood, my face changed, my skin changed, and I gained weight. I am now an average overweight 40-something. All of the above changed. I'm now mostly invisible to everyone I meet. No one is unkind, but no one seems to notice me. I don't get invited many places. I don't get singled out for special treatment. The world is very different to average-looking me than it was to good-looking me. I was fat most of my life. Then I got fit. Then I got injured and depressed, and got unfit again. People treat you so much better when you're attractive. It's sad how stark the difference is. And it's not just that you receive more negativity, but that you receive less positivity. Sure, dicks will be dicks, and they'll roast you for being ugly, but the real shocker was how much less kindness I received. Like being fat made me lesser of a person. Bosses choose who they want in meetings, promote them. When I was chubby and looked unattractive, I was always seen as a joke and unserious. I was the funny friend. I lost 40 pounds and started looksmexing. It's a cringy term, I know. But I genuinely started to be treated better and taken seriously by almost everyone, especially my friends. I went on my first date recently as well. When I was overweight and unattractive, I was never involved with anyone romantically. The halo effect is definitely real. Yes, but in a different case, the more attractive you are, the more likely people are to socialize with you. The more you socialize, the more charisma you tend to have as a man, which then benefits you in all aspects of life in a civilized society. 30 Rock even did an episode about it where Liz dates a guy played by Jon Hamm. HTTPS. After I had weight loss surgery, I was treated completely differently, even by people who've known me my entire life. Hell yes. I was born the ugly one in a family of guys who were either very handsome or very cute, and Lord, I got to see how they definitely got privileges from society. That also extended to many of my nephews. I remember one time we went to a corner store, and the cashier barely noticed that I was there. I had to get her attention to pay her because she could barely take her attention away from my nephew. Thank God I'm 61, otherwise, I'd be totally invisible to women in this society. I'm a moderately handsome man. My personality has allowed me to date a few very attractive women. The way we both got treated because of the women blew my mind. Also, the amount of women that treat pretty women differently was unbelievable to me. Absolutely, even with pets, you see beautiful cats, dogs get adopted while the ugly ones left in shelters. Anyone who tells you beauty privilege isn't real is full of crap. I think so. You won't see a guy walking to the ugliest girl in a group to chat. A man who believes male pretty privilege doesn't exist is probably handsome. MPP exists in all areas of life. Yes, my friends and I go to the club often and have never come home with a girl. One of our hot friends went with one time and had a girl falling for him under 5 minutes. He literally walked in, went to the bar for a drink, and the girl approached him from behind. Riz had nothing to do with it, all looks. Absolutely, aesthetics can influence professional trajectories for men, and it's not just about social charm. In client-facing roles, for instance, the halo effect can lead to assumptions that an attractive man is also competent, trustworthy, and a good communicator, simply based on appearance. These stereotypes often sway hiring, promotions, and networking opportunities, inadvertently reinforcing the idea that success correlates with attractiveness. It must be awful to be unattractive, especially nowadays when looks seem to be more important than ever. Of course, why wouldn't they? All attractive people do. It's been proven that two people charged with the same crime will get different punishments depending on their looks. Yes, possibly even more so than women sometimes, especially tall men. Even when it comes to careers, if a guy is well-dressed, good-looking, fit, and tall, he has tons of advantages. Also, fit men are seen as harder workers than overweight. Absolutely. I experienced it firsthand. I'm a fairly handsome guy, but I had put on a lot of weight at one point. One of the most frustrating parts of that time was having to fight to have my credibility recognized. I subsequently lost about half of that weight and immediately began getting treated better. There has been no other changes in my skill or expertise, but the association between appearance and credibility or perceived performance is real. I'm a man, and my weight has fluctuated to extreme degrees due to ongoing struggles with binge eating disorder, having gone from fit, in shape, and fairly handsome to obese and back multiple times. My experience is that men absolutely do benefit from pretty privilege. Yes, and the privilege is greater than anyone thinks. When I started my first job a few years back, I was pretty chubby with a bad hairstyle. Didn't pay attention to my looks or health at all. At the company dinner, I was wearing a cast for my fractured arm that I had to have 2 major surgeries for. While I was talking halfway, a very attractive shorter guy stole the conversation and talked about how he almost broke his foot. While my condition was way worse, all I got were stares. While the moment he started speaking, he got a lot of pitied groans from the women around, and they completely ignored me afterward. I left the dinner halfway. From then on, I worked out and got into shape, and boy oh boy, the difference is night and day. I've had 2 girlfriends since then who asked me out when previously when I tried to talk to women they would just ignore me or shun me away. Even the way I'm treated my service staff or family is so different. I went from being a quiet shy guy to a mysterious handsome man. It's quite awful and funny if you think about it. I hate everyone now because of what I've experienced.